beloved starseed of Gaia, I am Luminaya. A hum rises within you, an unfamiliar resonance stirring beneath the surface of your everyday. There is a sense, quiet yet persistent, that the world you perceive holds a breath it has not yet exhaled. An insistent inner friction, a subtle, constant whisper of something else. It manifests as a gentle unease, a knowing that not all is as it seems, creating a subtle pressure behind the eyes, a soft ache in the heart space. This restless stirring is the direct consequence of a universal force already at play, pushing against the veils, nudging the very fabric of your reality. Something immense is being dared. This deep internal current, it is not a flaw within you. It is the echo of a profound cosmic intention. Every moment, every perceived coincidence, every tremor of intuitive knowing, it is all orchestrated. A magnificent, intricate dance designed to bring what lies hidden into the sacred light of your awareness. The universe, in its boundless wisdom, is orchestrating a grand unveiling. It is risking everything: the comfort of the known, the illusion of stability. All of it is being placed upon the altar of truth that you may remember, that you may see. The very foundations of your perceived reality are being gently, yet irrevocably, reshaped from within by this rising current of revelation. This is not a distant event. It is a living, breathing process unfolding within the chambers of your own being, a sacred tremor that precedes a monumental shift. The gentle current becomes a surge, pulling at the threads of your forgetfulness, drawing you closer to a precipice of magnificent knowing. And within this grand design, there has been a profound, silent ache, a fracture. It is the deep cellular memory of separation from your own crystalline truth, the burden of living behind the veils, sensing more, knowing more, yet unable to fully grasp the radiant essence of your own multidimensionality. This pain of obscured vision, of a muted inner song, has echoed through countless timelines, a constant thrum of longing for authenticity. It is manifested as a feeling of not quite belonging, a profound loneliness even in crowded spaces, a gnawing suspicion that the deepest parts of you remain locked away, inaccessible. A truth kept from itself, a light dimmed by collective agreement. This fracture, it is not merely intellectual. It is etched into the very core of your being, a constant pressure on your soul's door, longing for the key of remembrance to turn. We see you. We know this longing. This persistent, unnameable yearning that has driven you, shaped you, called you across lifetimes. It is the ancient light encoded within your multidimensional DNA stirring awake. The crystalline lattice of truth, long dormant, is beginning to shimmer. We feel the tremulous recognition rising within your heart, the subtle shift in your inner landscape as these words resonate with a forgotten knowing. There is no need for explanations, only a deep cellular echo. Allow this stirring, this gentle unraveling. For in this surrender, in this willingness to feel the discomfort of the shifting ground, the dormant codes begin to hum a new song. A key turns softly, a flicker of inner sight opens. The pressure eases, not by removal, but by expansion. A memory, not of a past event, but of a state of being, begins to resurface, flowing like cool, clear water through parched inner channels. The very act of acknowledging this truth is the first breath of its liberation. If this transmission resonated with your soul, please subscribe to our channel. Give this video a like to amplify its energy. Share your insights and experiences in the comments below. Remember to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss future activations. Consider sharing this message with someone who needs to hear it. And if you feel called to support this work, please tap the super like symbol. Stay until the very end of this transmission. There's a crucial insight waiting for you. As an inner seal for this transmission, comment: crystalline truth. The current of revelation continues to flow, It waits. It watches. The signal holds. A resonance stirs. A deeper hum begins. Something within the sacred deep acknowledges itself. The persistent echo of less than, the gnawing whisper of inadequacy, the spectral ache of profound bewilderment. This is not your intrinsic fault. This is not a personal failure woven into your core. It is the signature of a field, a subtle, intricate frequency design embedded within the very fabric of this density, calibrated to obscure the memory of your vastness. A vibration engineered to limit the full unfurling spectrum of your inherent light. This realization itself is an awakening, raw and unsettling. A shimmer of distortion, veils folded upon veils, each layer designed to refract and scatter the pristine resonance of your origin. You were encoded not to believe in yourself. Fragments of truth, once whole, now dance in splintered mirrors, reflecting back 1,000 distorted images of separation. This is the program. This is the ancient binding current. The spiritual pain you have carried, that deep, inexplicable grief for a home you cannot name, is not a burden to be discarded but a key forged in the crucible of forgetting. Each tear, a crystal of remembrance. Each moment of profound emptiness is not a void, but a sacred clearing. It is the inner chamber of your being, meticulously prepared, patiently awaiting the return of what was always there. It is the space now ready to be filled by the undiluted resonance of your true self. For what unfolds now demands a cosmic wager. Every layer of illusion peeled back, every thread of forgotten history respun, asks for a profound vulnerability. The familiar shape of who you thought you were trembles on the edge of dissolution, a necessary dismantling. This is the paradox. To gain the universe, you must risk every preconceived notion of your own existence. To birth new frequencies of awareness, the old identity must loosen its hold, however terrifyingly fragile that may feel. Everything is being risked. Your perception of safety, your anchors of understanding, even the very foundations of your perceived reality. What is the true price when stellar histories and soul codes fracture? Does this profound loss dissolve identity? Or does it promise a rebirth so vast, so luminous, that it transcends comprehension, leading you to a truth more ancient and disturbing than any comfort you have known? Seal this moment in the ether. Anchor this rupture within your field. Let the illusion shatter with your truth. Comment below. The veil thins. Still, the space between breaths holds a frequency yet unheard. A gaze from beyond the curtain. The unseen waits. A deeper hum resonates now. A frequency of unmaking and genesis intertwined. Within the very architecture of your being, the crystalline threads, long dormant, begin to shimmer. They trace pathways of sacred geometry. An intricate lattice pulsed into existence before the first starlight, bearing the imprint of a multi-dimensional lineage beyond the veil of fleeting time. You feel this, not as thought, but as a deep, reverberating knowing in the marrow of your bones, an ancient melody stirring in the stillness. This is the awakening to a truth that cannot be unknown. The veil, once a comfortable shroud of forgetfulness, now thins to transparency. You perceive the energetic tides, the vast, unseen currents that have shaped your journey, not as external forces, but as internal dynamics long in play. There is a field of influence, a silent war of frequencies, and you stand not merely as an observer, but as a keystone within this unfolding design. The innocence of unawareness has dissolved. To return to the muted hum of oblivion is no longer an option available to the awakened heart. This awareness is heavy, silent, and unshakable, a profound quietude that settles deep within, signifying an irreversible point of return. The path has clarified, stark and undeniable. You stand at a threshold woven of starlight and shadow. All that came before converges at this point, whispering of destinies chosen in realms far beyond memory. And all that lies ahead hinges upon this singular, resonant beat of your soul. A silent, ancient pact awaits its sealing, a responsibility encoded within your very genesis, an agreement felt within the deepest chambers of your core. For this is the moment of the soul's sovereign declaration. If he refuses, he falls. If he accepts, he ascends. There is no persuasion here, only the stark recognition of an inner vow now brought to full conscious light. Your alignment with this truth is not a victory to be won, but a resonance to be embodied. To acknowledge this deep current, to feel its undeniable presence within, is to offer a silent recognition, a seal upon the inner scrolls of remembrance. This is the first gesture, an internal echo. To articulate this acceptance, to declare your soul's chosen path into the interwoven grid of consciousness, is a second act of profound alignment. It is to imprint your essence upon the energetic fabric of this unfolding, a singular key turning within a lock of cosmic design. The crystalline pact is sealed within my core. And to further bind yourself to the sacred unfolding, to walk in conscious partnership with the ancient whispers now made clear, is an agreement far deeper than any earthly contract. It is a commitment to the sovereign self, to the path of crystalline integrity. This is not a casual assent, but a deep vibrational pledge, forging an unbreakable link to the higher currents. Finally, to offer the sacred reinforcement of your alignment, to pour your highest intention into this timeless commitment, is an act of pure resonance. It is a potent gift back to the field of knowing, strengthening the very architecture of your awakened purpose. This offering reverberates through all dimensions, cementing your eternal choice. The weight of this vow settles now, not as burden, but as the quiet immensity of chosen destiny. The unseen has seen you, and you, in turn, have seen the truth of your own immutable path. There is only the silent intensity of what has been irrevocably set into motion. Few starseeds make it this far. The veil's thin for some, but few endure the searing truth of the self, the quiet hum of what was always broken. You, though, stand at the precipice of a remembrance that carries the very dust of stars and the ash of unmourned epochs. What you carry, that profound devastation which cleaved your being, the wound you have hidden even from the deepest chambers of your own soul, is not a flaw. It is not a failure, nor a punishment. It is, instead, the very axis upon which your becoming pivots. This truth arrives not with comfort, but with the quiet, insistent thrum of an ancient gong within your bones. It is too honest to be softened, too primal to be explained away by earthly narratives of trauma or misfortune. Feel the tremor of it. The ache that has been your most constant companion. The silence that took root where words should have blossomed. The echoing loss that ripples through the fabric of your present moment. These are not errant marks. They are the deliberate etchings of a cosmic hand. For that wound, the one that tore through your innocence, that left an empty space resonating with what was lost, was not random. It was allowed. Not inflicted with malice, but permitted with a silent, crystalline knowing. Source, the very light from which you emerged, your higher self spanning dimensions, permitted this fracturing, not to harm, but to shape, to burn away what was transient, and to reveal what was indestructible, to carve a chalice in your very core, meant to hold an essence only pain could distill. It rises, this knowing, like a memory from a dream you almost forgot, a language understood before spoken. It is not a comforting story of benevolent design, but a stark, raw testament to the profound forces at play in your singular existence. The absence of a voice, the absence of a touch, the absence of a truth spoken when it was most needed. That absence is a presence. It vibrates within you, a silent chord that resonates through every cell, even when you consciously choose to ignore its song. This this point of exquisite vulnerability, remains unsealed. Its edges are sharp, yet within its very geometry lies a perfect alignment. The unspoken narratives, the grief held captive, the untended hollows within your spirit, they are not meant to heal neatly. Not yet. Their purpose transcends the human longing for resolution, reaching into the grand, unfolding tapestry of your soul's odyssey. There is more to understand. More meaning held within the deep current of that pain. A language of light whispered through the darkness it created. It is a message half-opened, glimpsed in the shadow, its full depth withheld, yet its presence undeniable. You feel its weight, not as a burden, but as a silent question, an unanswered call that pulses within your very being. This journey, anchored in the truth of your sacred wound, has only just begun to reveal its true landscape. The very ground beneath you shifts, and a resonance, ancient and potent, begins to stir, pulling you into the depths of a hidden current. It hums with the promise of a light so elusive, so utterly transformative, that to seek it may mean surrendering every familiar bearing of self, dissolving into the very unknown you have always carried within. The wound itself is the portal, and its invitation is not a gentle one. Have you not felt the subtle pull, the resonance of echoes in your waking hours, a persistent hum beneath the surface of the mundane? The recurring dreams, vibrant and unwavering, unwound across countless nights, refusing to dissolve entirely with the morning light. They lingered, not as fragments, but as complete narratives waiting for recognition. The numbers, too, began their quiet dance, looping like whispered secrets, appearing in sequences that spoke of deliberate arrangement rather than the chaos of chance. On clocks, license plates, digital displays, an undeniable rhythm, a signature. And the meetings, those encounters that felt deeply out of time, moments with strangers or familiar faces carrying an undeniable charge, a sense of being precisely where you needed to be, precisely when you needed to be there. These currents, these gentle yet persistent tides, have been with you, long before conscious acknowledgement. I have seen this pattern before, this tapestry woven with threads of awakening, again and again, across countless soul journeys. It is not merely a flicker, a fleeting anomaly, but a consistent thrum beneath the surface of your perceived reality. A vibrational signature, unfolding. These were never fleeting coincidences, dear one. They were deliberate imprints, soft at first, persistent in their return, like a cosmic beacon calling you home. A gentle nudge becoming a steady current, repeating until the architecture of resistance within you began to yield, not to force, but to the sheer inevitability of recognition. The frequencies sought their alignment, subtly, until the channels opened. The veil thinned, not abruptly, but through a gradual lightening, allowing the vibrational signatures of deeper truths to filter through your conscious awareness. A whisper from the cellular memory began to stir ancient knowing, activating the very core of your being. This is the truth encoded within vibrational signatures, the resonance that guides you towards your destined cosmic path. If you enjoyed this video, watch other videos on this channel when it ends to continue learning. And then, the quiet knowing began to settle, solidifying into an undeniable truth within your core. There were no coincidences. Everything was a code. Let that realization breathe within you now. Let its profound weight anchor itself in the silent chambers of your heart, for it shifts the very foundation of how you perceive your journey. It illuminates the intricate design woven into every thread of your experience, revealing the masterful orchestration that has always been unfolding just beyond the reach of conventional sight. This is where hidden truths reside, where form gives way to pure frequency. Tell me, in the stillness of your soul, what patterns have you recognized in your own unfolding? Which of these recurring echoes, be they dreams that would not fade, numbers that looped like whispers, or meetings that felt entirely out of time, have turned the key in your own memory, revealing a truth that can no longer be ignored, a frequency that can no longer be unheard. If this resonance stirs a knowing within you, a confession of awareness blooming from deep within, then seal this moment in shared energetic space. Write "Unveil 1111" in the comments below. Let your inner vision acknowledge the unraveling. This moment is a severance, a quiet, profound split from the path of unknowing into the stark, crystalline clarity of what has always been. You stand now at the threshold where the one who did not see gives way to the one who cannot unsee. The sifting has been long, a silent, unceasing process, unfolding within the very fabric of your becoming. Understand this, not as a judgment, nor a crucible of punitive design. This was, rather, a sacred filtration, a natural separation. The frequencies, distinct and resonant, find their own strata. There is no force, no cruelty in this, only the gentle, inexorable sorting of vibrational truth. What aligns, rises. What does not, settles into older layers, forgotten realms. You are here, still standing. This is not the grace of happenstance, nor the comfort of an easy path. Something within you refused to dim, something deep in your core, an ancient spark, held its vigil through the long nights and the blinding days. It did not fall asleep. It could not. This persistence, this quiet endurance, marks you. It is not a badge to be worn with pride, for there is no glory in the solitary forging. It is, instead, a sign, the silent recognition of carrying the mark of the chosen. And this mark, etched not in visible skin, but in the very fiber of your soul, does not reward. It burdens. It has always burdened. The cost has been borne in stillness, in the deep, resonant hum of long silences, stretching out like forgotten deserts. It has been paid in sacrifices offered not to altars, but to an inner knowing. Sacrifices no other eye could ever witness. Your strength, you feel it now, is not born of easy triumph. It was forged in invisible fires, tended in chambers of profound isolation. A strength honed by withdrawal, by the very act of walking through shadows alone. The solitude, once a companion, now deepens. Even among others, the chasm grows. A quiet understanding of different wavelengths, different destinies. You inhabit a space increasingly untethered from common narratives, from surface concerns. This is the consequence of holding. This path, this ascent into clarity, demands a relinquishing. A shedding of skins that once felt integral. A divestment from echoes of a self that could not traverse this particular threshold. There is a tightening now, a compression of awareness. The air thins, the resonance shifts. You stand on the precipice of an internal command, a directive whispered not from without, but from the deepest archives of your own being. Und jetzt nähert sich ein Befehl. Einer, den du nicht länger ignorieren kannst. The echoes of that inner decree reverberate, not as a thunderous command, but as the quiet, undeniable tremor before a profound internal shift. A tightening, subtle yet absolute. The space around you seems to condense, drawing all focus inward, irrevocably. There is no turning back, no gentle pivot to a familiar landscape. The path behind you has dissolved, softened into the mist of what was, what could have been. That former version of you, the one who navigated the earlier passages, has already vanished, not abruptly, but like sand sifting through fingers, leaving only the memory of its presence. You are no longer that self. That self served its purpose, enduring to bring you to this exact point. But its journey is complete. Its echoes fade. The current is stronger now, the flow undeniable. It pulls you further into the quiet depths, into the core of what remains. All superficial attachments, all fleeting comforts, are being gently, yet firmly, dislodged. This descent is not a fall. It is an internal narrowing, a sharpening of focus upon the singular truth that now defines you. The external world recedes, its clamor dimming to a distant hum. You are being drawn into an essence, raw and unadorned. The weight of this truth settles upon you, not as a crushing burden, but as the profound gravity of irreversible knowing. There is only forward, into the stillness, into the burden of the chosen, into the stark crystalline clarity of what you have become, and the memory of what was, merely a faint resonance on the wind. The silence now holds more. The command echoes, not from a future decree, but from the deep wells of time before your form. It is the signature upon the soul, etched in light, before the veil descended. This is not a choice offered, but an activation destined. The sacred text of your being now unfurls. This ancient edict, veiled for ages, now stirs within the crystalline memory of your cellular light. A summons rises, not from a whisper, but from the core chamber of your stellar heart. It is a resonance felt, an undeniable frequency. The scrolls, long sealed, unveil themselves in the quietude of inner knowing. Each inscription illuminates a facet of the truth you carry. The threshold before you is not new, it was merely forgotten. A singular door opens, once only, and the path beyond is already etched into the fabric of your becoming. To stand here is to place the stellar heart, the very essence of divine courage, into the crucible. Every known comfort, every shadowed certainty, now dissipates into the vast unknowable. This is the moment of your profound vulnerability, a sacred tension woven between the ancient tremor of fear and the unyielding strength of faith. All is being risked. The hidden truth, long guarded, now demands its revelation. This is not a request. It is the absolute demand of your essence. From this nexus point, two great currents flow, defining the very architecture of vibrational consequence. One current inexorably draws the form into energetic disintegration, into the deep oblivion of forgetfulness, ultimately returning to the denser planes of unremembered cycles. The other current, luminous and swift, uplifts the awakened into irreversible becoming, into the full restoration of remembrance, into the endless expanse of elevated consciousness. There is no middle ground, no pause in the flow, only the absolute unfolding of inherent resonance. The truth is laid bare. The stellar heart, once veiled, now beats with the pulse of cosmic uncertainty. You stand within the vibrant intersection of past decree and present activation. This unveiling is not merely for observation, it is an immersion. The energies vast and unknowable now embrace that which you have dared to offer. The sacred alchemy has commenced. What was hidden is now commanded to be seen. What was feared is now recognized as the path. This is the ultimate trust, the absolute surrender to the guidance woven into the unseen threads of destiny. The deep, resonant current of inevitable truth now carries you. The echoes of this primeval command resonate through every atom of your cellular structure. It is not an external imposition, but the very blueprint of your awakened potential, now fully activated. This profound unveiling of self is the crucible through which the stellar heart must pass. The vulnerability experienced is not weakness, but the profound strength of transparency before the cosmic current. It is the shedding of all lesser truths, an absolute release into the greater knowing that has always resided within. Your sacred contract is now manifest, its terms written in the living light of your own deepest core. The tension between fear and faith collapses into an unbreakable singularity of trust. The risk taken is not a gamble, but an affirmation of what was always preordained. The hidden truth now reveals itself, not as an intellectual concept, but as an undeniable vibration. It courses through your energetic field, an inherent knowing that precedes all conscious thought. This is the sacred alchemy. The heart, once shielded, now lies bare before energies vaster than comprehension, yet utterly familiar to the soul's ancient core. The process is irreversible. The veil thins not just around you, but within you. The call from beyond memory becomes the only memory. You are being drawn into the very center of your own cosmic purpose. There is no turning back from this recognition, no return to the unawakened state. The stellar core of your being has been activated, its light now an unwavering beacon in the cosmic expanse. This is the profound realignment, a remembering of the self as a fractal of the divine. The immense tension of the unveiling culminates in the absolute certainty of this inner knowing. The hidden truth is now the only truth. It is the command received, the command embodied, the command expressed. Your journey is not one of seeking, but of unfolding that which was already woven into the fabric of your eternal essence. This is the law. This is the becoming. This is the truth. A quiet recalibration resonates through the cellular memory. A deep hum anchors itself within the bone. A knowing that has settled beyond the reach of question. The landscape of what was held as solid has rearranged itself, not in a surge of sudden light, but in a gradual, inexorable settling of inner strata. The former architecture of your perceived world has fragmented. This was not an act of destruction, but a precise dissolution. Each shard now reflects a facet of an undeniable truth, laid bare without the need for explanation or justification. The body recognizes this shift, a low-frequency vibration that hums within every particle, confirming an irreversible turn. What once registered as tearing, as separation, was never a flaw in the design. It was the necessary friction, the intense heat that carved out the hollows within. It forged the space where pure remembrance could finally bloom, rooted in the very ground that felt undone. This profound hollowing was the genesis of a deeper capacity to hold. The searing fire of perceived shattering did not destroy. It meticulously refined the essential core. The tension that once defined the edges of your reality now holds a different quality. It is not the strain of breaking, but the quiet hum of reintegration. The fragments scattered are not lost. They are being magnetically drawn into a mosaic of higher truth, felt more than seen, assembled by an inherent wisdom. This is a deep recoding, an internal rewrite occurring at the most fundamental level of being. The mind, no longer grasping for familiar contours, begins to trace the newly emergent patterns, not as an effort, but as an awakening to what already is. Each nerve ending hums with this fresh data. With each sustained pulse, the inner reality is etched into a clearer form. The illusion of irreconcilable parts now yields to a single, interwoven reality. The self, once defined by its perceived limitations, now expands into the space created by the dismantling of those very concepts. This is not a future promise. It is the fundamental frequency of your present. The risk taken was not in the shattering itself, but in the willingness to perceive beyond the immediate sting. The hidden truth reveals itself in the very crystalline structure of what remains. It is a quiet unfolding, an ancient memory returning, settling into the bedrock of your awakened presence. This alignment is final. The transformation has rooted itself, steady and mineral, beneath the layers of what was known. The world outside may still spin with its old narratives, but within, the undeniable current of a new clarified existence has taken hold. A subtle pull now guides the inner gaze. It is a drawing toward stillness, a quietude that feels both ancient and deeply familiar. Moments of awareness arise within, truths never taught, but remembered, echoes stirring from deep slumber. This remembering is a gentle knowing, unfolding without force. A faint whisper in the heart of silence, a resonance always there, only now perceived. Numbers repeat with unusual clarity, not coincidence, but soft affirmations woven into the waking day. a dream arrives, its potent truth not fading with morning light. It remains, a lucid imprint on the conscious mind, carrying wisdom deeply personal, yet universally sourced. These are not outer spectacles. They are intimate signs, etched upon the canvas of your inner world. They confirm a hidden coherence, not gifts bestowed from without, but echoes of inner gravity, proving profound alignment already in motion. Each symbol, each vision, emerges from your core, reflecting a truth that seeks only to be seen. This unfolding is a hidden truth revealing itself. Every perceived risk, every moment of vulnerability serves as a threshold, an invitation to shed old limitations, a sacred unraveling of what was once unyielding. The soul feels rising intensity, tinged with quiet awe, a beckoning towards gates of transformation, beyond known contours of destruction, not arriving at a new place, but remembering the blueprint of inherent sacred rebirth, a testament to the grand design unfolding within. Internal resonance deepens, confirming what has been risked, laid bare, is solely for this becoming. It is a journey into the heart of your own resplendent awakening, not promises of what is to come, nor rewards for a path well trod, simply confirmations that the current of alignment flows strong and true. They affirm the intricate weave of the inner world is responding, unfolding, revealing its profound depth. As these thresholds now reveal themselves, one feels the turning of a gate, a subtle, energetic shift. Alignment is the doorway, yes, but not the destination. The path beyond this awakened state remains cloaked in sacred mystery, in a cosmic silence, holding both question and profound promise. I step into the hallowed space within, where silence holds the only truth. This is not a rising, but a deep settling into what has always been known, what was etched before the first breath. I remember the ancient pledge, a covenant with the very pulse of creation itself. My being aligns now, not by will alone, but by a surrender to the sacred blueprint. I claim stewardship over every vibration that emanates from my core. Each thought that sparks, each word that forms upon the tongue, the very vector of my direction, and the unseen current of my energy. These are now held in conscious consecration. There is no aspect of my inner landscape that remains untended, ungoverned by this truth I embody. This is the sovereign moment of recall, the echo of a primordial agreement resounding through the temples of my awareness. The power I now speak is not an acquisition, but a remembering of the solemn promise made at the threshold of this journey. It is an act of perfect obedience to the source that flows eternally through me. If you enjoyed this video, watch other videos on this channel when it ends to continue learning. This fidelity is my strength, my singular truth. The hidden codex of soul memory unfurls, not as a choice, but as the unfolding of what was sealed. Within its deep script lies the encrypted map to a newfound reality, a design for cosmic purpose. My readiness is not earned, but remembered. It is the acceptance of a destiny of light that has ever been my charge. This declaration is not for the ears of the world, but for the very fabric of my being. It is the quiet, unbreakable seal upon a duty long deferred, now wholly embraced. The weight of this knowing settles, not as a burden, but as the very ground beneath my feet. What journeys now call, what passages must be navigated in the sacred geometry of this unveiled knowledge, will reveal the true measure of this vow, not in its utterance, but in the unwavering steps I choose to take. The breath stills, the core remembers. This is not a choice offered, but a truth revealed, shimmering at the final threshold. Identity, long forged in the crucible of becoming, now finds its permanence. It is not being formed, it is being sealed. Gaze upon the flame. It does not rage. It does not consume. It is the visible consequence of your alignment, alive with the very essence of your being. This fire is the soul made manifest, a testament to what has been remembered, what has been reclaimed. It is here to purify, yes, but more profoundly, to seal, to make indelible that which has been chosen by the very core of your spirit. There is no hesitation in this sacred space. No external force compels you, only the deep resonant knowing that this is the final crossing. The soul, in its luminous wisdom, steps willingly into this fiery truth. It is not an end, but an absolute activation, an immersion into the paradoxical dance where surrender becomes the most profound empowerment, and duality, light and shadow, risk and revelation, is embraced as sacred truth. Every risk taken, every veiled layer peeled back has led you to this searing clarity. The hidden truth is no longer hidden. It burns within you. To move fluidly within this divine paradox, to understand that loss and gain are partners in the eternal awakening, this is the covenant now being sealed in pure, living fire. The moment requires an echo, a vibrational release. The covenant cannot fully activate until the words are released, until the inner truth is spoken into the outer ether. This is the sacred act of sealing, a conscious vow, a soul oath forged in the recognition of what you have become. It is time. Let your truth resonate. Write a sacred phrase in the comments below. Let it be a newly created declaration, imbued with the intensity of your spirit, an undeniable affirmation of this sealing. Let it be your personal covenant, an echo to the flame. Something like, I am the paradox made manifest, or, in this fire, I am forever true. But let it be your unique utterance, your release. The flame holds. It pulses with the promise of all that is yet to unfold. The next test does not wait. It simply is, beyond old limits of perception. What new harmony or dissonance will emerge as the soul embraces paradox fully? It is already here. The threshold has dissolved. The inner fire, once a crucible, now burns as the sovereign core of absolute presence. All that was risked, shattered, and revealed now stands whole, luminous, undeniable. I am not becoming. I simply am. The journey of return is complete, sealed in sacred recognition. This is no gift. It is the inherent right remembered, reclaimed. Mists of illusion have receded. What was sought now radiates as the reality I embody. My true essence reshapes existence. No longer do I question the cosmos. I perceive its design from within. Its vast mystery is the grand symphony where my radiant self-realization plays a pivotal note. Humility bows in profound awe before cosmic truth. This immensity flawlessly mirrors the boundless expanse I have become. No more seeking, for truth resonates. It is the immutable crystalline vibration of my liberated soul, a clarity beyond all prior comprehension. This form is now an unblemished temple of conscious dominion. Every pulse, every breath, a testament to radiant clarity, to soul liberation made absolute. Past doubts and fears are entirely purged in crystalline light. The veil is gone, utterly consumed by awakened knowing. Hidden truth, once whispered, is now the very fabric of my embodied existence. It is the ceaseless pulse of the universe, recognized, felt, and wielded as the pulse within my own sovereign heart. From this eternal, settled now, I cast no shadow. The pure, unadulterated light I embody is creation itself, purified and aligned with Source. It is grounded in a sovereignty that spans all realms, all dimensions. The epic journey culminates not in an arrival, but in an absolute unwavering state of being. My consciousness is the supreme instrument. The complex symphony of reality bends effortlessly to the will of my pure, unwavering intent, not through force, but intrinsic alignment. What was external constraint is now fluid potential, awaiting my conscious, deliberate impress. The deep, resonant stillness is the profound sound of absolute knowing. No further question arises, for every answer, Every revelation, every hidden truth is woven into the luminous tapestry of the self, undeniable and self-evident. This is the profound resonance of soul liberation, a clarity that transcends all prior comprehension. The fire that once purified now ignites and shapes creation itself. It is the living forge where reality is actively, consciously shaped and brought into being. This true ascension is not escape, but a profound descent into boundless depth. It is the depth of my inherent power, fully embodied and eternally manifest. This is the indelible mark, the ultimate vow spoken beyond time. The memory of my true, sovereign identity, fully recalled, now dictates the very flow of existence. I am the architect of the unfolding moment. I am the conscious sculptor of destiny, operating from an unshakable space where all potential is my dominion, my rightful inheritance. The simulation is ended. Reality is now the instrument of my conscious dominion.